Victoria, while she does that, I just want to let you know I spent several years assigned to the Cheyenne Mountain Complex in Colorado Springs. I love my time in Colorado. It's a great place to
Oh,
live and
nice.
really enjoy the skiing and the mountain air. And it's just awesome there. So
Yeah, I love it here. Yeah, I guess I'll dive in. My name is Victoria Murray. I'm a licensed clinical social worker and psychotherapist in private practice. I am currently based in Denver, Colorado, originally from the East Coast. So I see clients in my practice over video who live in Colorado, New York, and New Jersey. And I typically work with clients experiencing anxiety. My treatment perspective utilizes a lot of mindfulness-based tools. So today I'm going to talk about tips for how to survive the holiday season. I think that most of us know that the holidays can be a really fun and joy-filled time to connect with loved ones, but it can also sometimes be incredibly overwhelming and stressful with all there is to do and managing different pressures that we might feel. Holiday stress is something that I see a lot in the clients that I work with start to come up as this time of year approaches. During the holidays, I find that we can be so focused on what everyone else needs from us, whether that's our friends, parents, spouses, kids, that our own needs can get pushed aside. Things like booking travel for the holidays, gift buying, making time to see extended family, all that stuff can seem like it takes priority over everything else. But when we neglect our needs, we can end up feeling anxious, depressed, and definitely overwhelmed. So because of all this chaos, the holiday season is a time that is especially important to be mindful of taking care of our own needs. And I have a few tips that I will offer for how to do that. So my first tip is to resist the temptation to overschedule yourself and overcommit to things. This might look like saying no to a neighborhood holiday party or fundraiser, things like alternating which side of the family you might spend each holiday with instead of trying to see both, or blocking off like a day on the weekend in the months of November or December to spend time at home for yourself. Constantly running around to give everyone else in your lives what you think they want from you will, at the end of the day, leave you feeling burnt out, exhausted, and maybe even resentful, which does end up being detrimental to those relationships at the end of the day anyway. Contrary to popular belief, it can end up benefiting everyone when you know when to say no and put your needs first so that resentment doesn't start creeping into some of the most important relationships in your life. My second tip is to make sure to make time to take care of your health. When you're feeling overwhelmed and overscheduled, things like personal exercise, sleep, and nutrition routines can be the first things that we tend to cut out. But exercise, eating a balanced diet, and getting restful sleep are not only good for your physical health, but really important for your mental health as well. Regular exercise can not only help you to feel less stressed and anxious, but dedicating regular time for yourself sends the message to your brain, I'm worth it. This time for myself is just as important as all those other things that are coming up. And when you're feeling grounded, you'll be in a much better headspace to tackle that stressful family gathering or holiday party. My third tip is to take a moment to breathe. Part of the reason the holidays can be so chaotic and stressful is because you might constantly find yourself rushing around to meet work deadlines before break, to find gifts for everyone, or to pack before an early morning flight. All of the doing and rushing around can leave you without a moment to pause, be present, and take some deep breaths. Trying to find a few moments to breathe and be present can actually slow down your nervous system's response and have a huge impact on physical tension and anxiety. You could try to find time for this at the end of a busy workday, even in places like an airport bathroom, or carving out a few moments for quiet time, even when you're staying with a relative. It's really important to cut yourself some slack and make peace with not being on 24/7. Um, and the last tip that I have is to make sure to set realistic expectations for yourself. A lot of us might put pressure on ourselves to find the perfect gift, to host the most festive holiday party, or to have meaningful conversations with every single relative or friend. This kind of pressure can usually lead you to feel frazzled or unable to really be present for the time that you do have with your loved ones. It can be really helpful to ask yourself, who am I really doing this for and why is it important to me? Is it really realistic that your friends won't enjoy your party if the decor isn't perfect? Does your nephew really need every single item on his wish list? I work a lot with clients who struggle with perfectionism, and these type of questions are things that I encourage them to ask themselves. These behaviors can be so ingrained and automatic that we don't stop to think about why we do the things that we do or what we fear will happen if everything isn't perfect. The best holiday memories are often those that are filled with laughter and quality time with people that you care about. Taking some of the pressure off and lowering expectations for yourself can be a game changer in feeling less anxious and overwhelmed. So that's my bit. Those are my tips that I have for surviving the holidays. Thanks for allowing me to share, and happy to answer any questions if anyone has anything.
Wow, those were absolutely great tips.
Hmm.
Linda Thompson is here, and she is a motivational writer and speaker. Linda, can we see you? Yeah,
Let me ask
these.
her a question.
Yeah, Elton has a question. Go ahead.
Victoria, yeah, the
Uh-huh.
aspect of challenging perfectionism where you spend a lot of time reflecting on what you've done, and
Mhm.
that time is worthless because, I mean, not unless you're using it to hastily move through the future. Because what you've done is what you've done, you can't change
Right.
it. But only if it helps you improve, one, the reflection of who you are, two,
Mhm.
okay, balancing your sense of self for the next steps. And so I know I can see how many people they can use that aspect, and it could you can find yourself in a rut by doing those kind of things. As you age, you should reach a point of maturity where you're, hey, I got this. It's under control. Or when people call you up and ask you what you should do, they're looking for this sense of confidence, this sense of
Mhm.
self-assurance, where you all balanced, all cool. Is there a secret to that?
Um, yeah, I mean, a lot of the work that I do with my clients around mindfulness is because, we spend so much time sometimes focused in the past on all of the things that you wish that you could change, things you feel like you did wrong, that oftentimes ends up, with us feeling depressed or focusing on all of the things in the future that we don't have any control over. And kind of both of those focuses are what lead us to feel really stressed and overwhelmed and unhappy a lot of the time. Um, when, like you mentioned, a good thing to ask yourself is this, this worry thought that I have, is it something that I can plan for, something that I can take action to do something to help me feel more in control or more prepared? Or are these things that are totally out of my control? And if there are things that are out of your control, then, it can be helpful to label it, that's a worry thought. I'm going to try and let that go and refocus on something else. There's different activities that can be really helpful for trying to be present in the moment. Doing like mindfulness meditations can be really helpful for focusing on the present moment. Focusing on your breathing can be a good anchor. Exercise can be a really helpful way to get in the present for a lot of people, kind of just focusing on being present with your body in the moment. And a lot of people find it helps to clear their head. So, those are just kind of some tips for things that I recommend for trying to stay present and get out of your head when those kind of thoughts come up.
Very good, very good.
Excellent. Is that your answer your question?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Anybody else has a question for Victoria? Okay. All right. So I'm going to stop recording this segment. You're watching Discover Brightside. Victoria, we've discovered you and we've entered you to win wonderful prizes. The drawing will be during our holiday open house. And we have some sponsors already. We have Mighty Licious and Steeped Coffee, and I'll make sure that they information is in our video channel as well. So attend as many times as you attend. You have an entry, and you have to be present for the drawing to win a prize. I'm sorry, we'll try to do an absentee prize for those who miss it, but most of the prizes will go to people who actually attend, because the prizes are for attendance. So we hope you will come back. We do about, I would say 3 to 6 events a month, and especially now because it's the holiday season, we'll be doing a lot of marketing and promotions. So expect to see a lot of us, lots of emails from us, lots of social media posts from us, because this is that time when you need to know about all the products and services. And if you buy from small business, you're helping the economy. So we want you to hear from everyone and get in touch with Victoria. And Victoria, you need to get licensed in North Carolina. So she's licensed in
I
New
do have
Jersey
some family
and-
there, actually, so maybe.
Yeah, and New York. So if anyone, we do have a lot of clients from New York and New Jersey and Colorado. So we'll
Okay.
make sure that they go to her. And really, if you're suffering and you've got anxiety, you really need help. So don't wait for it to be too late, because we've got several phone calls that come in here all the time. People want to commit suicide, and it's really sad when I talk to people on the phone. So really, you need to get help, get it. If you're having some diddy with your spouse, get help. Don't wait for it to get too bad. You're not helping the spouse, you're not helping yourself, you're not helping the community. So do not have problems, solve them, because life is about living and joyfully and successfully. So the more times that you're stressed about silly things, solve it and go to Victoria for help. Thank you so much, Victoria.
Well said. Thank you. Thanks for allowing me to share tonight.
Great